I'm at 528 Blossomhill Lane in Cincinnati, Ohio, doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for any structural issues, root intrusion, anything that may be of concern to the buyer. Our access point is an outside clean out, right in the middle of the front yard, or closer to the street, but it's got a white cap on it. Should be able to go both directions from his spot. I'm going to try to go upstream first, back into the house, and then we'll go downstream out towards the main. This is probably right around the area where the sewer district would take over responsibility. If anything happened downstream, this is a two-way clean out, and so we're going to try to get it to go the way we want. And here we go. I was able to go upstream, and so I don't know how much of this line was replaced or if it was just a clean out installed, but there's a pretty decent ditch here, so this may have already been all replaced, which would be great. Originally this would have been cast iron in the house and clay outside. Looks like the clay has been replaced with PVC. I still expect to see cast iron in the house, but so far everything looks really good. I would imagine that probably the reason this was replaced was due to the very large tree in the front yard that nowadays when they get a bunch of root intrusion, instead of doing maintenance, a lot of times plumbers will recommend it just be replaced. And you can see even at this point there is some root intrusion here, right where there is the cast iron. And so you still have some root intrusion right there at the transition between the cast iron or the inside pipe and the outside pipe. And it's pretty common, even though they replaced that entire line from the house out. That connection, normally what you would have to do is you can't really connect it with with any kind of glue or anything. You're using a rubber flexible coupling, or a Fernco. It's kind of the brand name of it. And what that does is it's the only way to really connect two different materials to one another. And so a lot of times you still have, like we saw there, a little bit of root intrusion at one spot. And so kind of disappointing as far as making the connection, because a lot of times if done right, those Ferncos can keep the roots out. But on the inside we have cast iron, and I'm hoping that we can I'll go as far back as I can, but we're probably pretty close to where the top of the line is, as far as where the furthest back inside the basement. And see, yeah, you can see we are past where the flush took place. Like somebody went to the restroom or something. And so we'll have to wait for this to settle down. But what I'm going to do is, because of course now I can't really see anything, I'm going to have to at least I'll go in and run some water in the basement. And I'm also going to pause the video and locate exactly where we're at and see how far back I am in relation to the high end of the sewer or the very back of the sewer line, so we can get an idea if I've inspected the entire line. So again, I'm going to pause the video and see where we're at. Alright. So, got the water running, but we are on the kitchen side, and so that's about what it does. Is it's I think it's mainly where the pipe reduces, and then you can see where the line comes over from the side. Just wish we would be able to get all this off of there a little better, so you'll see there where the water comes in. So where the bathroom and the stuff comes across and ties in is up towards the front of the building. I mean, we're limited to where we can inspect. I can't make the camera turn, and so we'll push back up and see if I can figure out exactly where that line's coming in. I think somebody just flushed the toilet again. Yep, I think this is where the line shrinks down for the kitchen. And there's a line coming in from the right, I think right there. Because the water's not coming from there. There it is, coming in right there from the right, and that's where the downstairs bathroom and everything comes in, and then the line reduces. That's why I can't go any further, and I can't force the water to go back to the right, or can't force the camera to go back to the right. It won't make turns like that. I can't like guide it to the right, and so that's why we're unable to go any further. But the line looks really good as far as cast iron. Looks like it's in good shape. The reason it reduces is because that would be where it shrinks down for the kitchen line, and so the camera won't go all the way through it. But the cast iron looks really good. The only thing we have here is that we talked about right here at 58, 59 feet. And the more I go back and forth, I might be able to get this to pop loose, but I doubt it. We have some root intrusion right there at the connection of the, right where it exits between PVC and the cast iron. The cast iron is probably 4-inch, maybe 3. It should be 4, and then right there in one little spot, there must have been a weak spot in the connection, and where it drops in, you do have some root intrusion. And so, yeah, so 58 feet, 59 feet upstream, they have some root intrusion. That can be handled with a cleaning, but also if you do some also pouring a chemical treatment like Rudex, you might want to do that. This is right at the foundation, so it'd be pretty difficult to dig up. You might be able to call to see whoever did the installation, but this has probably been a while since it was installed. So running some root treatment down there, maybe once every year or two, or just take the tree down. But that little bit of roots isn't a lot, and so you could be able to take care of it with the with some root treatment, but you could also have it cleaned and then treat it with some root stuff like Root X. Basically, you put it down there. It tells you to do it about once a year just to keep the roots down, but that was the only spot of root intrusion I saw, and it's right at the connection between the interior pipe and the exterior pipe. So it's not a lot, but it is something there that you'll have to pay attention to for maintenance. And that'll be listed as 58 or 59 feet upstream of the cleanout, since the access is the outside cleanout. The rest of the line looks really good. I mean, there's another option of trying to have it lined from back here, but I don't know how they would do it on the reduction of pipe. But yeah, everything else, the line is great. It's been replaced, so it's all newer PVC. And so now we're turning, and we're going to go downstream out towards the main. And you can see that's where it switches over to clay. And there's some more root intrusion here, right at that connection again. And then it goes into concrete. Now this is right around where municipality would take over responsibility, and so that's why it switches over to concrete also. But all this concrete looks really good. I think we're getting close to the main here. Yeah. It's dropping off into the main, I believe. The camera doesn't want to make that turn to drop off. You can see the angle indicator in the bottom left-hand corner. There it is. You can see how I'm hanging straight up and down, which means I'm dropping down into the main. And you can see the water behind me, but it's covering the lens and falling off the end, and so I am at the bottom of the main. So 58, 59 feet upstream, there's some roots, and maybe a couple feet downstream. But other than that, the line looks really good since it has been replaced. Cast iron is something that you will have to mess with, so on the inside you do have to worry about, making sure you don't use anything other than toilet paper. You don't ever want to put wet wipes or paper towels down the cast iron, because it is more likely to cause backups or soft clogs just from excessive toilet paper and from wet wipes. It's usually due to wet wipes just don't disintegrate like toilet paper, and so if they do catch on anything, they can cause buildups. And so you can see where they made this connection. You can actually see the rubber in between here in these two spots. Same thing, they're connecting clay to PVC, and so the only way to do that is with a rubber coupling. And so sometimes you'll have a little bit of a weak spot in there, and you're getting roots there too. So 17 foot downstream and 58, 59 feet upstream, there's some spots of roots, but nothing crazy. Like I said, it's something that could most likely be taken care of with a yearly maintenance of some Root X chemical. It's something that can be done by the homeowner. But the rest of the line looks good. It's open and flowing, as designed. We're all the way back out of the clean out. So The line looked good structurally. The only issue that we have is a little bit of roots at, again, 59 feet upstream and about 17 feet on the video downstream, but it's just outside this clean out due to the transition of the PVC to clay, which is right around where the municipality would take over responsibility as far as any structural issues. That's why they would have stopped the replacement right there. But with the line, again, looks good structurally. Just have roots in those two spots that will need some need a little bit of attention, a little bit of maintenance. Like I said, I would put a treatment of root X down there, and then maybe once a year do that, and that should do a pretty good job of keeping those roots down and not causing any issues. But I would also recommend you maybe do another inspection in about 5 years or so and see how well the maintenance is doing, see if it needs to be adjusted at all in one direction or another. But yeah, line is open and flowing at time of inspection, just we'll need a little bit of future maintenance. So that'll end the inspection at 528 Blossomhill Lane in Cincinnati, Ohio.